Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi taala wabarakatuh dan salam sejahtera. Dalam video ini saya akan mengajar satu bahagian daripada uh, subjek Power Electronic iaitu DEKE 3443, iaitu chapter yang keempat berkaitan dengan chopper ataupun dikenali juga sebagai DC-DC converter. Okey, untuk video ini saya akan memberi penjelasan dua jenis DC-DC converter iaitu boost dan juga buck boost converter. Okey, seperti yang sedia maklum, DC-DC converter merupakan salah satu daripada um, application di dalam bidang power elektronik, di mana dia convert daripada DC component kepada another level DC component. Okey, bermaksud input dan output tidak semestinya sama, bergantung kepada circuit configuration, okey, dan juga switching action, di mana switching action untuk DC-DC converter dinamakan juga sebagai duty cycle, dan duty cycle itu adalah merupakan ratio di antara switch turning on dan juga switch turning off. Bermaksud di sini berapa lama switch akan turn on dan berapa lama switch akan turn off. Okey, dan DC-DC converter jenis boost juga merupakan jenis non-isolated DC-DC converter. Okey, so kita mulakan. Okey, boost converter. Boost converter also can be defined as a step-up converter, which is the output voltage is larger than input. Seperti yang saya cakapkan tadi, sebentar tadi, DC-DC converter bukanlah hanya convert DC ke another DC component, tetapi dia sebenarnya adalah regulate the input of DC component. Okay, contoh untuk boost converter will be able to step up the input. Okay, the output voltage is larger than the input. Okay, so before we going to start to analyze this boost converter circuit configuration, so let make some assumption. The first assumption is the circuit is operating in the steady state, and then the capacitor is very large and the output is held constant at voltage V out. Okay, because the capacitor will be affect to the output voltage ripple actually. So if we assume that the capacitor is very large, so that we can expect that the ripple of output voltage is very low. And then the inductor current is continuous, always positive. Okay, the term of continuous here is means the inductor current will be not touching or reach the zero value lah. So okay, kalau kita lihat contoh di sini, okay, inductor current maximum dan juga inductor current minimum. Kalau kita lihat the minimum of inductor current not touching the zero value. Okay, this is the definition of continuous lah, always positive value. And then the switching period is T. Okay, switching period is T, and the switch is closed for time dt and open for time 1 minus dt multiplied by t. So this is the definition for switching open, and this one is definition for switching close, or to indicate the switch close or to indicate the switching open. So we use this equation. Okay, and then the last assumption is the component are ideal. The reason is not the reason, the ideal, the component are ideal means we assume that there are no losses occur in the component. For example, in this power switch, okay, we assume that the amount of energy input is equal, sorry, the amount of energy output is equal to the amount of energy input. So there are no losses during the transition between turning on and turning off. Okay. Okay, now we go to analyze the boost converter circuit during the switch close. Okay, sebenarnya dalam ketika switch close, okay, kita lihat circuit configuration yang asal, di manakah kedudukannya power switch. Power switch berada di sini. So bila kita tutup power switch dan kita apply assumption yang terakhir, iaitu ideal switch, so bermaksud current dia akan hanya dominan melalui circulate di kawasan ini sahaja. So pada ketika ini diode kita dalam keadaan off. Bukan bermaksud off disebabkan oleh reverse bias, tapi off disebabkan oleh current lebih dominan melalui power switch. Sebabkan assumption kita power switch kita tidak ada losses. Bila tak ada losses, so kita anggap dia seperti satu line conductor cable lah. So current akan memilih untuk melalui konduktor yang mempunyai rintangan yang paling rendah. So kat situ yang dia akan dominan lah. So untuk switch close kita hanya analyze pada kawasan ini sahaja. Ini kita tidak analyze sebab kita assume di kawasan ini tiada current flow. During this switch close, we apply the mesh analysis. So negative V in plus VL equal to 0. So kalau kita rearrange the equation, so kita akan dapat VL equal to V in, equal to 0. Sorry, not equal to 0. Negative VL plus negative V in plus VL is equal to 0. So VL is also equal to V in if we manipulate. Because of VL is also equal to L DIL over dt. So means that we also get V in equal to L DIL over dt. So we rearrange. We take the information of DIL over dt only. So we bring the L here to the right. So we have DIL over dt equal to V in divided by L. This one is simple, right? There's a basic mathematical solution, right? So DIL over dt, so we change the symbol. DIL is equal to delta IL over delta dt, because the meaning of DIL over dt is the deviation of inductor current with respect to the deviation of time. So delta T pada ketika switch close seperti yang kita buat dalam assumption, kita ambil assumption ketika switch close is equal to dt. So that's why kita tulis dt di sini. Equal to dt. So kita hanya untuk equation kita perlu derive delta IL. So dt kita bawa ke kanan, so kita akan dapat VIN over L multiply by dt macam ni. So ini derivation lah, ini short form untuk step by step solution saya dah ceritakan. So harap awak faham ya. So ini waveform untuk switch close, dan juga switch open, di mana bahagian switch close ada di kawasan sini, di kawasan sini. So ini output voltage straight line because of DC component, and this is during the switch close. Ketika switch close, VL is equal to V in. VL equal to V in. And kemudian this one is the waveform of the inductor current during the switch close. Bermaksud pada ketika switch close, current akan inductor current akan increase. Means the inductor start to store the energy. Itu sifat inductor, sifat inductor yang boleh able to store the energy lah. Now is analysis during the switch open. Ketika switch open, diode dalam keadaan forward bias. So current akan lebih dominan melalui daripada V in, melalui VL dan melalui diode. Dan kemudian dia akan separate pecahlah IC melalui kapasitor dan juga melalui resistor. Dan daripada circuit ni VC, okay, voltan susut pada kapasitor actually is equal to the voltan across to the resistor because connected in parallel, right? Okay, so if we apply the mesh analysis, okay, mesh analysis to this loop, okay, negative V in plus VL plus VC equal to 0 because of VC is also equal to V out, so we substitute VC equal to V out lah. So that's why this one is not VC but V out. Okay, so we want to manipulate the equation of the mesh analysis, so we get VL equal to V in minus V out. Okay, because of VL is also equal to L DIL over dt, so we get V in minus V out equal to L DIL over dt. So same procedure from as like the previous slide. So we bring the L inductor, okay, to combine with the V in minus V out. So we have V in minus V out over L. Okay, and then the meaning of IL over dt, okay, the deviation of inductor current with respect to the deviation of T. Okay, the deviation of T during the switch open is equal to 1 minus D multiplied by T. Okay, because of we want to derive for delta IL, so we bring this delta T equation to this location. So that's why we get V in minus V out, okay, over L multiplied by 1 minus D multiplied by T. Okay, so this is the waveform during the switch open. Okay, during the switch open, Vn is equal to V in minus V out. Okay, so V in minus V out. So this is the voltage, inductor voltage lah. Okay, inductor voltage. This one is inductor current. Okay, during the switch open, the inductor current decrease until to the minimum value lah. Okay, and then during the steady state operation, our assumption is during the state operation, the net change in inductor current must be equal to 0. So means that the equation that derived in previous slide is equal. Okay, so delta IL during switch close plus delta IL during switch open is also equal to 0. So this modulus is to indicate that the solution of delta IL close and delta IL open is always positive. Okay, so we manipulate this equation and we get the last equation, the final equation, V out equal to V in divided by 1 minus D. Okay, this is the basic equation or the final equation for output voltage, the output voltage for boost converter. Okay, from this equation, we can define that the boost converter produce an output voltage that is greater than or equal to the input. Why? If we put the value of D, basically the value of D is the duty cycle. Okay, duty cycle value must be 0 to 1. Okay, cannot be more than 1 and cannot be below than 0. So either the range between 0 to 1. If D is equal to 0, so V out will be equal to V in. Okay, if D is equal to 1, okay, if D equal to 1, so V out is equal to V in divided by 0. So okay, by the rule of thumb of the mathematical, okay, if something number divided by 0 will be syntax error. Okay, so means that in the boost converter, D cannot be equal to 1. Okay, so if D is greater than 0, so V out will be larger than V in. Okay, This is how to get the inductor current equation. Okay, in our assumption, average power supplied by the source is equal to the average power absorbed by the load resistor. Because in our assumption in the previous slide, our assumption is all the component is ideal. So we can make the assumption that the average power supplied by the source is equal to average power absorbed by the load. So Pin equal to Pout correspond to the efficiency equal to 100%. Okay, and we have Pout is equal to Vout square over R. So this is the power absorbed by the load R, and then Pin is equal to Vin IL. Okay, because the current flowing is IL, so means that the current total is also equal to IL. Okay, equating input the output power, Vin multiplied by IL is also equal to Vout square over R, because this is the condition that we made during the assumption, Vin equal to Pout. Okay, so we substitute this equation. Okay, this equation and also equal to Vout square over R. So we get equal to Vin minus 1 minus D divided by R, because we got the derivation of Vout here. For the boost converter, Vout is equal to Vin minus 1 minus D. Okay, Vin divided by 1 minus D. Okay, we substitute this equation into this equation, so we get this equation. Therefore, IL can be expressed as, by manipulating this equation, we get IL equal to Vin divided by I minus D square R. So this is the average value of inductor current. Okay, the equation of inductor current maximum is equal to IL plus delta IL during close, okay, divided by 2. This IL is equal to this equation that we derived before. So we just substitute this equation into this maximum inductor current equation, so we get the final equation like this. And then for the inductor current, minimum inductor current is just similar to the maximum inductor current, but with the difference between plus and minus here. Okay, and then this one is for CCM, the inductor current for CCM, which is we take the minimum inductor current equation, which is more than 0. This one is not more than equal, actually more than 0, because for continuous current mode condition, the value must be always greater than 0 lah. Okay, like this. So minimum inductor current is more than 0, so we substitute this one equal to 0 lah. Okay, IL minimum is equal to 0, so we manipulate this equation, so we get this equation. Okay, actually this equation is also equal to this equation, because of this one is we consider the frequency. The one is we not consider the frequency, but we include the frequency during the solution for minimum inductor value. Okay, this one is how to derive the equation for the output voltage ripple for the boost converter. Okay, by taking the definition of capacitance, which is the variation of the charge Q. Okay, definition of the capacitor means the ratio between the deviation of charge Q, okay, with the deviation of the voltage potential. Okay, that's a definition of capacitance. So we take that definition, so we get Q is equal to CV naught and delta Q equal to C delta V naught. Okay, then we manipulate this equation, so we get delta V naught equal to delta Q divided by C. Okay, then the change in charge delta Q is the area of the rectangular below the time axis. Okay, the change in charge delta Q is in the yellow area. So the area of this yellow region is equal to V output over R multiplied by dt. Okay, V output over R multiplied by dt. Okay, dt is an equation for switch close. Okay, then we substitute this equation into the equation number 7. Then we get the final equation like this. Okay, from this equation, we can define that the ripple can be reduced by increasing the switching frequency and also by increasing the capacitor size. Since the location of the frequency and also the capacitor is located in the denominator of the fraction equation like this here. Okay, so if we increase the value of F and C, means that we can decrease, okay, we can decrease the percentage of the output voltage ripple. Okay, so this is the example of the boost converter problem. Let's say we have the boost converter with the parameter Vs equal to 20 volt, which is the source voltage equal to 20 volt, and then the duty cycle is equal to 0.6. We have the inductor value equal to 10 microhenry, capacitor value equal to 40 microfarad, and then the resistor equal to 12.5 ohm, and then switching frequency is equal to 200 kHz. And we require to determine first the output voltage, and then the average minimum and minimum inductor current, the output voltage ripple, and also determine the average current in the diode, which is we assume that the diode is in ideal component. So the solution is first A, the output voltage of the boost converters. So we just apply the basic equation that we derived before. So V out is equal to Vs divided by 1 minus D, also equal to 20. Okay, this is the information that already given in the question. And 1 minus 0.6, so we get 50 volt. Okay, and then B, the average of inductor current, maximum and minimum inductor current. We just apply the equation that we get before in previous slide. Okay, and then the C is the output voltage ripple. Okay, so the output voltage ripple equation is equal to D minus D over RCF. Okay, so delta V naught over V naught is actually the deviation of V naught over towards the nominal of output voltage value. Okay, so delta V naught over V naught is equal to 0.6. Okay, 0.6%. Okay, the diode current. Okay, diode current is also the output current because of if we look at to the boost converter circuit. Okay, if you look to the boost converter circuit. Okay, the diode current is also equal to I naught. Okay, equal to I naught. Diode average diode current. Okay, we take the average diode current equal to V out over R, so 50 divided by 12.5, so equal to 4.0 M. Okay, so example number 2. Okay, a boost converter has an input of 5 volt and output of 25 watt at 15 volt. Okay, the minimum inductor current must be no less than 50% of the average. The output voltage ripple must be less than 1%, and the switching frequency is 300 kHz. So determine the duty ratio, minimum inductor value, and minimum capacitor value. So because of in the boost converter problems here, we already have the 15 volt output. Okay, and also we already given the input, which is a 5 volt. So what is the possible of the duty ratio value in order to get the output 15 volt with the input 5 volt. Okay, so using the basic equation of the output voltage for the boost converter, so we manipulate this equation. Okay, we already have the information about Vs and Vout, so we manipulate this equation to get the value of D. So the solution is D equal to 0.667. Okay, and then the R is equal to Vout square over 25. Okay, so we have 9 ohm because 25 is the output power. So since the equation of the output power, P is equal to V out square over R. Okay, V out square over R. So we can get the value of R from that equation. So R is equal to 9 ohm. And then we need this information of R because we want to solve the average inductor current. Because in the equation of the average inductor current require the information of R, right? So we have IL equal to 5N. Okay, and then we apply the minimum inductor current, which is the condition is the minimum inductor current must be no less than 50% of the average. So 50% of the average is 5N. So 50% of the average is 0.5 multiplied by 5. So minimum inductor current target is equal to 2.5 M. Okay, from this one also delta IL is equal to 5M. Okay, because we apply the equation for minimum inductor current, which is IL minus IL minus delta IL divided by 2. Okay, so this is the simplification of the solution, and then delta IL is equal to Vs dt over delta IL. Okay, so we have the delta IL is also sorry, this is not the delta IL, this is L. L equal to Vs dt divided by delta IL. Okay, so equal to 2.22 microhenry. This one is error, so please make the correction and make sure please do the calculation to confirm the answer. So maybe because I took this solution directly from the books, so maybe books also have some error. Maybe they make the mistake in the calculation, but the solution step uh, is right, is correct. So you can take a look. The most important is the step of the solution. Okay, so this is the solution in order to get the possible value of the capacitor by using the information of the output equal voltage. Okay, the output equal voltage is must be less than 1%. Okay, so means that 0.01 1%. Okay, okay, now we go to the buck boost converter. Also under the type of non-isolated DC-DC converter. Okay, buck boost converter. Okay, this is a basic circuit configuration for the buck boost converter, and also the buck boost converter can be defined as a step up or step down converter, whereas the output voltage can be either higher or lower than the input. So means that this buck boost converter actually the combination between buck converter and also the boost converter. Okay, so then before as usual, let the previous converter, which is a boost converter. Before we start the analysis of the circuit configuration, we make the list of the assumption. So the assumption is similar to the assumption that we made before. Okay, so this is the basic waveform of the buck boost converter. Okay, this is the output voltage straight line because of DC component. Okay, this is the sawtooth waveform to represent the charging and discharging of the inductor. Okay, this is to represent the waveform of the inductor current, which is with the minimum and maximum. So this is to indicate that the inductor current is in CCM, continuous current mode, and this is the output waveform of the voltage output voltage waveform for the inductor. Which we can see during the switch close. Okay, the voltage drop in the inductor is equal to V in. Okay, while during the switch open, okay, the inductor current is equal to the inductor voltage is equal to V out. Okay, as usual, we do the analysis for the two modes, which is switch close and also switch open. For this one is switch close. Okay, switch close. During the switch close, the diode is in reverse bias, so there are no current flowing into the diode. So the current is only circulate between a source and also the inductor. So we apply the mesh analysis here. So VL is equal to V in and VL equal to L dI over dt. So we get the Vn equal to L dI over dt. So we solve this equation, we get the delta IL over dt equal to V in over L. Okay, so because we want to derive the equation for delta IL, so we solve this equation so that we get delta IL during switch close is also equal to V in over L multiplied by dt. Okay, this is the waveform that I already discussed before. Okay, next we go to analysis for the switch open. This is the circuit configuration during the switch open. During the switch open, this to indicate that there are no current flowing from the source. So this current actually the current which is come from the discharging from the capacitor, which is the capacitor start to discharge the current, and then by applying the mesh analysis to this loop, then we get VL equal to V out and also L dIL over dt. So the manipulate this equation, we solve this equation, then we get delta IL open equal to V out over L 1 minus dt. Okay, and then just like the boost converter analysis, we made the assumption which is the steady state operation. The net change in inductor current must be 0 over one period. Also means that the deviation of inductor current during the switch open and switch close is equal. So we make the solution like this, and then manipulate the equation, combine the equation during the delta L open and delta L close. So we get V out equal to negative V in multiplied by D over 1 minus D. This is the equation, output voltage equation for the buck boost converter. Okay, from this equation we can define that the output voltage magnitude of the buck boost converter can be less than that of the source if D is less than 0.5, okay, or greater than the source if D is larger than 0.5. So depending on the value of D, either less than or over than 0.5, so the output can be referred to boost or referred to buck converter. Okay, this is the solution to get the average inductor current. So also we get the assumption P in equal to P out, and P out is equal to P out square over R, and P in equal to V in IN, and also equal to V in ILD. So we make use this equation, and we substitute the final equation of V out, okay, and then so we get the final equation IL equal to V in D divided by 1D square 1 minus D square multiplied by R. Okay, so the basic equation for IL max and IL min is just like in the boost converter, which is their difference is only the polarity, the sign plus and negative sign here. But the difference is the equation for the delta IL, and also the average inductor current. Again, this is to get how to get the equation for the to identify the minimum inductor value. Okay, by taking the equation for minimum inductor current, and then we take minimum inductor current is equal to 0. So we manipulate this equation, then we get the final equation like this. Okay, and then this one is derivation of the output voltage ripple is just like the boost converter. Okay, so no need to re-explain this slide because very similar to the boost converter analysis for the output voltage ripple. So the final equation is also similar to the boost converter. Okay, we go to example. This is the example for the buck boost converter, and the information given here. Okay, the output voltage determined from the equation that we derived before. Okay, and then the inductor, average inductor current, and maximum minimum inductor current, just apply the equation that we derived. And then this is the solution for to get the value of output voltage ripple. Just apply the equation. And then another example, the buck boost converter with the parameters Vs input supply with 12 volt, duty cycle 0.6, inductor and capacitor value and R, and then the average output voltage, average and minimum and maximum of inductor current, and also the output voltage ripple. Just apply the equation, then we can solve all the equation lah. Just simple as that. And then another example for the buck boost. Okay, this one is we already have the input and the output target, and then from this information, okay, the inductor, we have to determine the inductance such that the minimum current is 40% of the average. So means that we have to get the value of duty cycle first. That is, okay, we get the duty cycle first because the information of duty cycle is required in the solution of inductor value. Okay, inductor current value. So we solve the equation, and this one is to get the value of capacitor, okay, by using the information of the output voltage ripple. Okay, so end of the chapter. Okay, for your homework, and please give your feedback in the page in the ULearn portal. Just give the summary that what have you learned in chapter 3. Okay, so thank you for watching. Until we meet again in the next video for the new chapter. Okay, thank you. Assalamualaikum and salam sejahtera.